Hey y'all, happy Sunday and welcome to this week's live Q&A session. This is the portion of the show where we allow YouTube to send out notifications that we're going live. If you're watching this live Q&A on replay, please scrub ahead until this graphic disappears and the actual show begins. If you're watching live and you have any comments or questions, please go ahead and put them in the live chat. But for now, grab a beverage, sit back, and relax while the countdown timer does its thing. Then we'll get started. Aloha! Happy Sunday, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. It's a bright sunny day here. The birds are chirping, and I'm just happy to be here. Well, let's see what's going on today. I've got a couple of things to talk about. We've got a couple of questions, but if you have any questions at all about Vectric software or general CNC questions, I can't get into specific machines. Best advice would be to talk to your machine manufacturer. Send their tech support folks an email. That's their job. It's what they do. If you have machine specific questions. But before we do anything, I want to say hello to and give a special shout out to my friend Steve over at Harneal Media. Some of you folks have taken advantage of Steve's experience and the services he's offered, and some of you haven't. If you're even toying with the idea of a website, maybe you list things on third party sites and you pay a listing fee, then you pay a commission, and you notice they're advertising your competition right there on the same page with your offerings. If you're sick and tired of that, it's probably time to talk to Steve about setting you up a web store on your website. And Hardiel Media is going to be the only place I ever refer anybody to. Number one, because he's very, very good at what he does. He is very, very competitively priced. And when it comes to service, I mean, you just can't beat what Steve offers. It's 100% personalized service all the way around. When you're dealing with Harneal Media, you're dealing with Steve and not some nameless, faceless person in a call center somewhere that you're never going to have any contact with again. So there's a link to Harneal Media down in the description of every live stream and every video on this channel. It's that way for a reason. Do yourself a favor. Go ahead and head over to harnealmedia.com, click that contact us link, and shoot Steve a message. He'll take care of you. That's harnealmedia.com, link in the description. And thank you, Steve, for everything that you do. I truly appreciate it. Okay, a little bit of, I want to say thank you to everybody for your generosity, number one, and for uh, suggesting that I go ahead and do a little bit of history and backstory last week for the 300th episode. I really honestly did not expect. I never know what to expect when it comes to these live streams. You guys come up with some great questions, and I just have a lot of fun doing this. But last week was kind of special. I didn't think it was going to be special until y'all made it special. So thank you very much for that. I truly appreciate it. Um, but it all comes back down to y'all, the questions that you have, the comments that you have. Um, so by all means, keep them coming. I'm going to get into the first question here. And it was first question was posed by Butch Miller, and I'm sorry, I don't know why the chat here in my streaming platform didn't go back that far, so I can't highlight your question. But Butch Miller asks, is there a way on a two-sided project to have a different XY datum position, where one side would be better with a corner and the other side centered? Um, Basically, there is a way to do it, but you're essentially making two separate files. You would not make your XY0 is set in the setup. Let me go ahead and bring Aspire in. When you go up here to job setup and you select double-sided jobs, this is where your XY datum position is set. And that's it. You can't change your XY datum one side to another. The only way to do that would be to make two separate files. But here's my question to you. Why would you want to do that? When you set your XY datum here and you set your registration pins, 0.25, we'll put one here, and one here, asymmetrical. When you set these registration dowels for flipping the material over and you copy to the other side, the software, when you calculate the tool paths, it knows where everything is going to be. It knows that if you want, say, something, let's put a triangle over here, all right, on this side, just for giggles. Come on, let me bring you down there. But over on the back side, you want some text centered right here. When you calculate the tool paths, the software knows where that is. It knows where it's supposed to be. And you set your XY0 once. And that's when you first start setting it up. So that's over here on the other side. When you go to set your XY0 at the very beginning, let's say for the sake of argument, I set it at the bottom left. That's the only time you'll set your XY0. At the very beginning. Then you carve the front side, then take the material off, flip it over, set your registration pins, use the dowels, and fasten the material back down. You don't touch XY0. You don't reset XY0. The only thing you set is Z0. So you don't touch XY0. So having two different origin points, XY datum positions, there's no benefit to that. And in fact, you increase the possibility that something's going to be off. You know, so there is that. I just don't see any benefit to doing it. Now, if you wanted to do that, you could certainly make two files. One with, two single-sided files. One with the XY origin, XY datum point down at the bottom left corner, and the other in the center, for example. But if you're using the two-sided job setup, you really don't need it at all. So, okay. Yeah, as you said, it may just be just too much time to think. Yeah. And that's a trap that I fall into. Or I fall into as well. Uh, Basically, I could complicate a marble. It's real easy to overthink stuff, and you get yourself in trouble real fast that way. So there are some times, even if I know why it's done a certain way, I may think that there's another way of doing it, but I just follow the rules because it works and I don't have to reinvent the wheel, you know. So, Pete over at Nature's Live Edge says, sometimes I will design in different datums and then align prior to toolpath execution. And if that works for you, fantastic. Personally, when I'm doing two-sided and I'm using those registration dowels, that's what they're for indexing, for registering where that piece of material is going to be. It doesn't matter where I place whatever I'm trying to work on. Once I set that XY0 for the first side, the second side just falls into place because the software knows where to put it. So if it works for you, great. I don't know. I just don't see the benefit of coloring outside the lines. Maybe I've just not run into a situation where I've needed it. Like for instance, if you were trying to if you were trying to carve on four sides of something, you're going to have to make two different two-sided machining files, one for the top and bottom and another for the front side and rear side. That's a different situation, and I could see where what you're doing is exactly the right way to go. But for a simple two-sided thing, I just follow the examples that's already been set. I figure the people who created the software know what they're talking about a lot more than I do. So I follow their lead. It works for me, and there we go. You know. But I'm serious. I could overcomplicate anything. So let's see what are the questions. I hope that answers it, Butch. I mean, feel free to experiment if you want to do that, but I just don't feel the need. That's just my opinion. And you know what they say about opinions. Okay, Marie's got a multi-part question, or three. Let's see what's on Marie's mind. She says, how do I specify a particular size image in Vista Sculpt and import that STL correctly into Aspire? It's kind of difficult. I didn't know I was going to get any Vista Sculpt questions. Let me bring it up, and it's going to take it a minute to load. It always does. There is a way to specify a particular size image, but it's in metric. And you're not really specifying the image size, you're specifying the model size. But I can say updates are going to be coming out for Vista Sculpt. I don't know when, and there are going to be improvements done to it. I will say they are listening to us. So what you see in Vista Sculpt now is not always going to be the end all and be all. Okay. So just know it's coming. You know what I mean? So, let's see here. So right now, it's kind of difficult to size the image along with the model. But what can I say? Let's see here. What else did Marie want to know on this one? Number two, what edits should be made prior to exporting the STL? Or do I make the edits once I import the STL into Aspire? You can do either or both. About the only edits you can do to the model in Vista Sculpt is you can size it in X, Y, and Z. And as soon as it loads, it's not loaded yet. It takes a while. Okay, there we go. Vista Sculpt has loaded. let me go ahead and do so here. All right. And what you're talking about, Marie, is over here on this side. And again, it's all metric. So let me load an image here, and we'll go do this, and I'll find something pretty mundane. Let's do that. And I'm not going to bother with any edits or modifications. I can't really because I'm using the demo mode. I've got to use this image, and I'll go ahead and I'll generate the 3D model. And it'll take it a couple of seconds to do, but this is a pretty simple drawing. But basically, after your model is created, this is the size up here in millimeters. Let's do this, and I'll also show you a couple of edits that should be done in Vista Sculpt before exporting the STL. And this is taking its time, but it's the demo version, so what can you say? Let's see here and get back to what y'all are talking about. Okay, she says when you import the STL, there's a spot to do that as well. Does it matter if I do it in Vista Sculpt or Aspire? If you mean sizing the model, it's better to do it in Aspire, to be honest with you. Whether it's done on the import side or after you've imported it is totally up to you. But keep in mind that when you do that, if you also import the image into Aspire and make a component out of that, and I'll show you that in a minute, the image and the model have to be the same size, or you're gonna have some problems, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, it's completed the model. Now, one of the things that I would do in Vista Sculpt, one of the edits I would make is up here under Edit Image before I generate the model. Now, again, I can't do it because I'm on the demo mode. But one of the first things I do is remove the background. Unless it's a feature of the image, say you're having your picture taken in front of the Eiffel Tower. Well, the Eiffel Tower is a feature of the image, so you may not want to remove the background then. But in the like a portrait, or in this case right here, I would remove the background. It's white. This still gives me a solid background, even though that background is white. And if I zoom out here, kind of rock this to the side, we can see, I'm having issues with audio again. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything I can do about it right now. Is my audio back? I don't know. If I'll wait for y'all to tell me if my audio's back. And there's a 30-second lag between what I'm saying now and YouTube. The whole screen is glitching out. Is that just Is that just while I'm rocking this over? Is my audio back? My video back? Bueller? Anybody? This does take a bit of resources. And I'm not seeing anybody letting me know if my audio is okay. Bob says it's okay now. All right. All right. As I was talking about with backgrounds, you can see here that I have a flat background until it gets to about here. And then suddenly the background starts coming forward. That's because with the 3D model, it is assuming that this portion of the background is closer to you, the viewer. So you have this wedge shape in the model. And you can see how it's protruding in Z. Now is where you make these changes, Marie. But again, it's all in metric. And so if you make any changes here to your model size, make sure you click on aspect ratio. That way it saves your aspect ratio, your perspective. If you change anything up here, say if you change your X dimension, it's going to keep everything in perspective. It will automatically change your Y and scale your Z. Now here, you can change thickness without changing. If we turn off aspect ratio, we can change the thickness of the model if it is too thick. Now, 41 millimeters, that's not super, super thick, so I would leave that be. But if you were going to make any changes, you could make those changes here. Excuse me. No, I take that back. If you were going to make any of these changes, I would do it in Aspire. Okay? So, the short answer to the long question is yes, you can change size here, but it's not necessarily the right place to do it. I would do it in Aspire. One of the edits that I would make definitely here in Vista Sculpt is solidify. Click on solidify. And what that did is that filled in that wedge. So now it's a solid model, okay, on the sides here. We no longer have what looked like that foil like this. Now it's a solid model, okay? Then you would export it. When you import it into Aspire, you can change the size. So I hope that answers that question on, okay, 8th Center is asking, is there an autosave in Vista Sculpt? No. If that's set every 5 minutes or so, it would eat double the RAM during that time. And that's why there is no autosave. That's why there's no autosave in Vista Sculpt. That's why there's no autosave in VCarve or Aspire, because the same thing is true. If you have a complex model out here in Aspire, if you've got a complex model out here and you're in the middle of hand tracing something around that model or a portion of that model, you don't want autosave to suddenly take all your resources and pause the program. Autosave has been discussed with Vectric Software numerous times. And they have just said no. There will be no autosave. So if you're asking for autosave or if you want autosave in your Vectric software, you're not going to get it. And it's for that very reason. So, okay, I hope that answered that, Marie. I would still do all those edits in Aspire. Now, speaking of Aspire, Marie wants to know, does anyone use the clear area of selected component in Aspire? I imported an STL, only needed to raise the face. I thought I could separate, then go from there. No, that's not the way to use that. That's not the way to do that. If you clear the area of that selected component, you're deleting that portion of the model. You're not splitting the model. All right. There's another way of doing that. What you'll want to do is, let me bring a piece of 3D clip art here. Let's find something. What do we got? What do we got? Man, let's see. Something that would be relatively easy. Let's go with a cat head. Come on, put you out here in the middle, boy. And we'll make you nice and big here in the middle. All right. I almost said in the middle of our backside, but I won't say that. Okay. We're going to go into the 3D view here and kind of zoom in. I'm just going freehand drawing. Now, I gotta tell you, I'm pretty bad at this. So it's not a stretch of the imagination. In fact, it's going to be quite lousy. But that's all right. Then we'll just trace around here. And I get around close, I'm going to hit Tab. And that closed that vector. So let me go over here to 2D view, and you can see that vector. I hit Tab, and that automatically closed that vector. Okay. Let me put the spotlight on Aspire and the cat. Okay, now I want to separate this from the model. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click off, then I'm going to select the model, then I'm going to hold down Shift and click on that vector. All right. And now I want to, right here, split the selected component using a vector. This is going to, okay, Marie, you said you traced an oval around the face. Select the model, then select that vector. Then it's right here. Split the, dang it. I got to click into the, there we go. Then it's right here. Split the selected component using a vector. So I click on that. The component must be baked before editing. Okay to continue? Okay. Now it's done. This is now separate from the face. Okay. So now when I jump over here in the components tab, I've got the nose and I've got the face. So now let me go into the 3D view so you can see what I'm doing here. I want the nose selected. I'll right click, come down into properties, and it's 0.663. Let's make it something silly so we can see what happens. We'll go with 0.8. Let it make that modification, and you can see that nose got bigger. So I can adjust the size here. Let's go back to 0.668. Let the software make that change, and it brought it right back down. So you see what it's doing. It split this section out of this model so I could modify this. This is what you want to do with your model. Okay? And again, let's draw the oval where you want that around the face, as you said. And it's this icon right here. Split the selected component using a vector. If you do this, it's going to delete that part of the model. Okay? So, I hope that helps out. I hope that helps with that one. That was something that we hadn't gotten into yet, but we're getting there. After you've done all that, how do you smooth it into the rest of the model? Ah, that's where sculpting comes in, and that's an art of its own. Okay? That is an art of its own. There are ways you can smooth and blend. You can smudge a little bit and things of that nature. But yeah, it is an art. I believe that's only available on Aspire. Let me check though, Rich. I'll bring up something in VCarve. I think that's only in Aspire though. I'm bringing up VCarve right now. And let me see, is that icon there? Yes, I'm sorry, but that is Aspire only. So one more reason to upgrade. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Marie. I know the part about blending and smudging and things like that are, you know, it's not a lot of help, but what can I say? So, let's see here. Okay, Ed Appleton says, just getting my feet wet with cutting 3D models. Bought a cross with hearts that are open through the model. Want to do two-sided with the back off of the surface and the model off the bed. Using sheets and the open area is not being cut out when rendered in the viewer. Is this because I'm going from the bed? It seems to work when going off the surface. It may be because you're going off the bed, but it's also because it's not showing more than one sheet at a time. You're having to go back and forth using sheets. So you're showing one sheet, then you have to switch over and show the other sheet. Does that make sense? It may be because you're going off the bed. I would have to see the file to see really what you're talking about, you know. Uh, Send me the file. We'll talk about it next Monday. Or earlier if you can get into the our Facebook chat and go from there. You know what I mean? We can do a video call. That's yet another advantage of becoming a channel member. We have a live chat. We have live video BS sessions on Saturday night as well as throughout the week. We'll just, somebody wants help, jump into a video call, take care of it like that. Just one of the advantages of being a channel member. So let's see. Sam's, whoops, sorry, Sam, I hit the wrong button and your question went away. But Sam Spade's wondering to know, can you see both sides at once? And the answer is yes. Come on, give it the spotlight. Thank you. The answer is yes. and that's right here. Click on that icon, and you can see single-sided and double-sided views, and that's in the 3D view. Okay. Right now, oops, that button, Mark. There we go. And now I'll click on this right there, and I'm seeing both sides. But there's only 3D content on one side. But yes, that's this icon right here. Okay. Something that I've yet to see mentioned in any of the video tutorials from Vectric is when we're in the 2D view, we can see which side we're working on because the scale is a different color. I'm working on the bottom, and I know that because this scale is orange. If I flip it, now we're working on the top because the scale is gray. When we're in the 3D view, how do we know which side we're working on? Because I can flip this like this, but I don't know which side we're working on. There is one way to know, and I've yet to see this shown in any video tutorial. And that is this black line around the diamond that says top. When I flip it over, none of the other views have that black line in it. That's the only way you know. Yes. In the 2D, look for that black line around the diamond that says top. So now, click on it to center up, and now I'm going to flip over to the bottom, and you'll see bottom has that black line around it. That's the only way you know that that's what you're working on. So be mindful of that. Now we'll flip back over to the top and bring that down. Okay. Let's see. Sometimes designing in the center is easier, but your material reference is easier on a corner. I agree, Pete. I almost always design my designs from the center. And you'll see it when I do demos, and you'll see it in videos. I put my XY origin right here. And I don't show it in every video. But when I go over here and start calculating tool paths, one of the first things I do is go into material setup. And this is when I change my XY origin to the bottom left corner as I check out my model thickness and all that other good stuff. I'm going to have to reset that model thickness to 0.74. Apply, close. Now my model is no longer thicker than my material. I can click OK. And now my XY origin is here before I start calculating tool paths. I don't show that in every video, but in practice, that's what I do. When I'm designing over here, it's just, I agree with you. It's just easier for me when I have my XY origin in the center. So that's how I do it as well. Oops. So let's come out of here. And let me take a look at what y'all are saying. If you're saying anything. Excuse me. 8 Center says it would be nice to have an alt control assist on the dice. Yeah, I call it the meatball. To assist to move in perpendicular angles when rotating, for example. Okay, there is one aid there, okay? And that is, bring back up here. When you're in the 3D view, if you want to access the opposite side from what you're on, say I want to look at the bottom real quick, I can put my cursor up here, double click, and it's going to rotate it to the bottom. Then I come up here and double click, and it'll bring it back up to the top. That's the only aid that I'm aware of. But that is a real good idea. And in fact, I'm going to suggest it. That's a real good idea. If there was a way, for instance, we could put our cursor over this, hold down Control or Alt or whatever, and then use our cursor buttons. Say, I want to rotate to the left. I should be able to hold down, say, Control Alt, and then hit the left cursor button. And this thing rotate to where I'm looking at the left side. You know, I think that would be, you know, well, don't make the list too long. Send them suggestions as you have the suggestions. Because if they see a big old wall of text, it's probably going to get ignored. So make that, or make sure it's a short list. So, you know, it doesn't have to be a super, super long list. So, but that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Pete says, you know the side by referencing the cube at the top right. Yes, that's how you know. You know, and I asked, and maybe some of you would like to make this suggestion as well. I said, okay, having this black line is all well and good, but how about since you have the ability to make this another color, how about in the 3D view you make this the same color? Can't you make this, if you can put a black line around it, can't you make that diamond that same orange color? That way it's something right there visible. You know what I mean? So that's my suggestion. They haven't acted on that. And they haven't told me yes, no, or maybe, or go away, or anything like that. So I think if they made that the bright orange, that's a good visual cue that you're looking at that you're looking at the active side. So all right. Well, anyhows, let's come out of there. Let's see here. There's a lot of workflow improvements that could be made to 12.5, yeah, but maybe it hasn't been out long enough for people to complain about it. They do listen to our suggestions. That's where they get their ideas for a good part of what they're doing, you know. So that's where they get their ideas for their upgrades and their modifications and all that stuff. So keep those suggestions coming to them. Let's see here. Yeah, Marie at Acrylawood Design said, I wish we could hide all those icons under 2D and 3D view. If you mean these icons here, they're valuable. Some of these used to be up here, and this toolbar was way too cluttered. But these are valuable. I mean, these turn on and off solid components. Let me go over here to the 3D view, and we'll flip over to the bottom. This turns off solid components. This turns on and off vectors. This turns on and off bitmaps if you have them. This turns on and off the modeling plane. There's just a lot of things that are really necessary. And it's about a half inch of space on your screen. I mean, you know, it doesn't take up a lot of real estate, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Where do we send suggestions to? Vectric support. I want to say the email address is support.vectric.com, but go to Vectric's website and click on contact us, and you'll find the support email address there. I want to say it's support@vectric.com, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. So I know I'm not sharing. Tim, you didn't see that last thing? Okay, I'm sorry. All right. My apologies. We're talking about these icons up here. Again, they only take up about a half inch. One here turns on and off your 3D if you have a bitmap. This will show your material block. Should you need it, you can see the entire piece of material from here. Then this one shows the XY origin out here. I'll turn that off, turn that off. This turns on and off your guides, should you have any guides. That's something that they've added in 12.5 is that you can right click and you can click guidelines and you can insert a horizontal guide here. And you can drag it to wherever you want. You can place it in a specific spot. Hit enter. You can rotate it. You can click and enter a angle all in the 3D view, and this will turn them on and off. Go over to the 2D view, and there's your guideline. And you can still edit the guideline here. You can delete it, you can put it in a new position, whatever you'd like. Back over to the 3D view. This one, trying to turn off the guide here. Trying to remember what this one does. I don't recall. Somebody help me out. I know in the 2D view, it toggles your toolpath drawing style. I don't recall what this does in the 3D view. But yes, the guidelines in the 3D view was one of the improvements in 12.5. So, 8 Center says, there used to be a space in the Vectric forums for suggestions. I think it's still there, but I haven't been in a while. Yes, there is. There is a space for the make suggestions in the Vectric forums. And I'm gonna climb up on my soapbox for a minute and admit to being a major hypocrite when it comes to preaching from this soapbox. And that I think the Vectric forum is one of the most underused, underutilized resources that exists. And it's simply because folks forget it's there. Now, this is where I become the hypocrite because I forget it's there. I don't use it as much as I should. I don't use it as often as I should. Take advantage of the Vectric forum. The okay, Dwayne Ruthig says that icon I couldn't place toggles the toolpath. in the 3D view when selected. Okay. Thank you, Dwayne. I appreciate that. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. And it's one of those icons where the little bubble prompt doesn't pop up and tell you, which, what can I say? But back onto the Vectric Forum. The Vectric Forum membership is made up mainly of users like you and me. A few of the Vectric folks, the employees are over there, especially the developers. They kind of watch to see what's going on. But overwhelming majority of the Vectric Forum membership are users like you and me. They are folks who use the software, have been there, done that, or are asking questions. You find all experience levels. So I won't say if you have a problem, somebody over there has had that same problem, but odds are you won't be the first to ask that question. Okay. So, Sam Spade, Dave, totally unnecessary, but thank you very, very much. I truly appreciate it. You're a prince among men. Thank you very much. Uh, com. If you go to Vectric's website, you will see a link to the forum. You do have to join, and but it's overwhelmingly a great bunch of people over there. There's a lot of people who have been with it for many, many years. And it's probably easily the most underutilized resource for information, for inspiration, for designs, things of that nature. And just go over and browse. You don't even have to join to browse or look at the forum. You can search the forum for whatever topic you want to uh, talk about. But to post, you will have to join. As Martin says, even if you don't post on the forum, you can still find the answers to many questions. Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. And again, it is a great resource. Okay, 8 Center says you have toggle help tips turned off, Mark. On mine, when I hover, it shows toggle toolpath, 2D drawing style, wireframe. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I do have them turned off because they get in my way and they're annoying. Okay, let's see here. We have Rich Bratcher says I could use a refresher course on tilt and fade. I completely messed up on one of my designs, couldn't remember the order to tilt one of my models under another. Sucks getting older and losing my brain. Well, welcome to my world, Rich. But hey, we are proof that this getting old stuff is not for sissies. It's hard work. So, let's see. Tilt and fade. I'm probably going to get this backwards. But basically, tilting and fading, and I'll do it on his nose just for giggles. Let's go into components. Let's bring this about like so. There we go. And I'm going to get into properties. Now I've got his nose selected, and I'm going to tilt that nose. What that's going to do is I'm going to come out here. Now I got to do this in 2D view or the 3D view. I don't remember. I got to do it in the 3D view. There it is. All right. My cursor is changed to an anchor. This is where we're going to anchor the tilt from. What tilting does, I'm going to click on that side of his nose. Now I'm going to go over to number 2, go straight across, go to that side of his nose. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to set an odd angle, just a big angle, so we can see it's dramatic. Now what I did was, my first anchor point was over here. That's where the tilt's going to start. Then I came over here. This is what's going to be tilted. So now when I look at this, it set the angle this way. Okay? I'm going to turn that off. I don't want no tilt. Instead, I'm going to fade. And I'm going to use the same 2 anchor points. Bring it down here. Then I'll click Set. And I've changed to an anchor. I'm going to use this point. Click. And come over here. Number 2. Click. Then I'm going to, it's got 50%. It doesn't work in degrees. It works in percentages. Okay? What that did was, it took this anchor point, kept that there, and the fade down into instead of up away from. So that's the basic difference, is fading, you set one anchor point and that stays put. Fading is going to push the object down. Tilting is going to lift it up. The other main thing is this is going to work, fade is going to work in percentages, and tilting is going to work in degrees. Okay? Those are the 2 main differences. Now I'm going to turn off fade and my nose goes back to normal. Close that, click off, and we'll forget that that ever happened. Not talk about it again. So there's a basic refresher course on the difference between the 2 and how to use them. Again, it's much like most of the way you let's see. That's the best way to put this. I'm trying to figure out, when you want to do something like that, when you want to make a modification, you have to, your first click is going to be where you want to start from. And the second one is where you want it to go to. How the heck did you get the anchor to highlight? Okay, I'll show that again. All right. We'll come up here. I'm going to select his nose. Right click, go into properties. I want to tilt. That's the anchor that we're going to set. So I want to tilt. And I'm going to click, bring that down to 0. Now, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because I already had some tilt set for that. I'm going to select his head. Right click, properties. I've had no tilt or fade set here. Okay. Now, I'm going to apply some tilt to it. So I'll click on tilt with the component selected, then click the set button. Okay. Then see that plus sign by the anchor. That's where you want to set, that's where that number 1 is going to be set at, that anchor point. So I'll click on that, and that's where it starts. You see that red line? I'm going to pull that across to here. Now, it doesn't have to be here. I could go up to his ear. I'll go to his ear. Yeah, right there. Number 2, and click. So that's where that tilt is going to take place. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to adjust. Now I can use a slide here. or I can set degree here. Okay. So let's see what that did. Woo, that made him real tall there and real skinny right there. I don't want to do that. So I'll turn that tilt off. And again, click off and never speak of tilting the cat again. Okay, let's see. Okay, Gene Scott says, I'm on the toolpath side, click on Save Toolpath, and it will frequently save CRV. I can try again, and it will be tap. Okay, let me get away from here and bring this back up full screen. I don't have any toolpaths calculated, but let's go over here. If you click on Save Toolpath, that is going to save G-code. A tap file is a type of G-code file. It's going to depend on your post processor. This will not save a CRV file. This will save a CRV file, but this will not save a CRV file. Okay? Tap is one of the many types of G-code files. There are NC files, there are text files, there are CNC files. But yeah, this is used for saving the G-code to actually run on the machine. This is used to save this file. You need to do both. You want to save this file you're working on up here. And a lot of people ask me this question. You'll also want to save your G-code file, okay? If you save your G-code file and you don't save this vcarb file, there is no way to get this vcarb file using that G-code. It's gone. That's all there is to it. It's gone. So, sorry, but it's important. See here. 8 Center wants to know, in pocketing, if you use an upcut bit, will you be able to speed up the pocket toolpath cut compared to a down cut? 1/4 inch Jenny bit on MDF if it's relevant, if combined with a down cut to keep the top clean. No, an upcut will not run any faster than a down cut. That's down to your machine, the material, and whether you're running a router, a spindle, what the capabilities of your machine are. Also, the step over you use for that bit. But upcut versus downcut, one doesn't cut any faster than the other. So you never save on the left side of the screen. Are you throwing away files? Because the only way you could, I don't think you can save a CRV file from here, from the left side. Is it possible to save a CRV from the left side here? I don't think it is. That's tool database, edit toolpath, duplicate. Okay. Yeah, I think you can save templates. Yes, you can save a selected toolpath as a template. All visible toolpaths as templates. You cannot save a CRV file from here. No. No, you cannot save a CRV file from here. So I was just hunting all over the place. No, you cannot save a CRV from that side. Let's see. H Center says I was thinking the upcut might stay cooler longer. About the only thing you can do is use a larger bit. I've done that. I use my half-inch end mill for faster clearing, and then quarter or eighth inch or whatever for to clean up and do the final profile. But the bigger bit will clear it out faster. But it's closer. It's down to step over and your machine's capabilities and the material, how cleanly it's going to cut, because it's of wants to do. And if it wants you to cut slow, you're going to cut slow. If it wants to cut fast, you can cut fast. There are roughing bits out there like I'm trying to think. IDC Woodcraft has the Beast, which is a quarter-inch diameter. I think they have a half-inch diameter too, but I'm not certain on that. They also have the Badger, which is an eighth-inch roughing bit. And roughing bits they have a serrated cutting edge on the spiral. They are upcut bits, but they are made, there's no finesse involved in these bits. They are made to get rid of material now. I've seen a lot of claims at the capacity of the roughing bits. I don't know what their capacity actually is. All I'm going to say on that is if you use a roughing bit, you better have it fastened to your spoil board tight and secure, because I have seen roughing bits. I've seen roughing bits override the stepper motors on CNC machines. What I'm getting at is to where if that bit catches grain and decides to follow the grain, it will actually fight against and overpower the stepper motors. I've seen that happen. So, Maurice at Ericsson Design and Woodworking said it's shocking the difference between half-inch and quarter-inch end mills in thickness. I didn't realize how big a half-inch bit was till I got one. Yeah, yeah. Some of them things are medieval torture devices, man. Yeah. Um, um, Eight Center's asking Pete, so grab a roughing bit for the main cut, but make sure there's a final pass with a nice sharp down cut. Yes, there is. Let me grab my beast here. No, it's up here. There is no finesse involved in these. Now, where did I put it? It's got to be in here somewhere. Oh, it doesn't have to be. There it is. And of course, it's going to be too small for you to see. Thank you, Rich. Uh, the beast, the badger, and the hog. So, I don't know if you can see the serrations on that puppy or not. Oh, come on. Well, you can see the serrations even though they're not in focus on that bit. There you go. Those serrations on those cutting edges, that is meant to rip material out of there right stinking now, mister. And that, like I said, there's nothing smooth. There's no such thing as finesse with this. Its job is to, and you can also tell by the spiral. just the helix there. It's there to evacuate chips now. So that will speed up a pocket cut. Just make sure that you've got a profile cut. And here, let me bring this back. A lot of people don't even know this is here. I've got two end mills here. Right down here for this one here, you want a profile pass last. You want it to make a profile. Okay? You want it to go around that pocket. I would, okay, a lot of times you don't need to run a fit on a pocket. Yeah, but if you should, so let me close that. And we'll come back over here. Maria's asking, if I use a roughing bit and then a really fine bit, would you suggest using a bit in between those two tool paths? That depends on the situation. I've not run across that situation yet. But I've not run across that situation, but I could see where it would be beneficial. So let's see here. I think yeah, people in here saying they do work well, and yeah, they do work well and what have you. I just don't. I've had this for a year. I've never used it. I just don't have the need, really. I don't do production work. I do one-offs. Just about everything I do, I make one time and then that's it. So I really haven't had the need to use it. So what can I figure? What can I say? So okay. Well, we're getting some folks saying that we're buffering or something. I don't know. Is it on something that I'm doing? Is it something that YouTube is doing? I'm going to close out Vista Sculpt now, and hopefully that helps as far as that's concerned. Eight Center says, feel free to send it my way, Mark. You're in the UK, aren't you? That free bit may end up costing you 50 pounds. A little inside baseball. A friend of mine, Jamie Page, lives over in the UK. And he won a T-shirt from another maker buddy. By the time he ended up paying VAT, import duties, and taxes and everything else on it, that free T-shirt cost him 40 pounds. So you might want to think twice about that. So, okay, Steve says YouTube has been buffering a lot of live streams the past couple days. Okay. The Marie says it happens when you share a larger screen. I just, let's try this now. I turned off Vista Sculpt, so I don't know. Is this doing anything? Is this causing me any issues or anything like that? Now I'll take that down and make it all about me again. All right. Well, we're having issues. We're about an hour and 20 minutes in. I think I got everybody's questions answered. Yeah, I have no more starred questions here. Yeah. Let's see, in the UK, which is why I don't order Jenny bits too often. Customs is a, and that varies country to country, but the UK, um, I mean, you guys' taxation is out of control. I mean, wow, your guys' taxation, because everything is taxed every step of the way. So all I can say is enjoy your free healthcare because that's what that all that pays for. And that's my political. All right. Was I going to share your? Well, you just called yourself out, Butch. I was going to do it anonymously. Um, but I'm going to do that next week because I want to share that on the members only side first. Okay, Butch? So, yes, I am buffering. Okay, it's time to end this so we can all blow this popsicle stand. Channel members, though, before you take off, channel members, tomorrow on the members only side, we have a special guest. His name is Nick French, Big Nick's Designs. He's going to get into negative space carving and photo V carving. You folks have been asking me about photo V carving from the get go. We're gonna have we're gonna have a gentleman who has nailed photo V carving, and yeah, it uh, you're gonna enjoy it. This guy knows what he's talking about. He's learned some very valuable lessons in his adventures in photo V carving, and I think he's got the process down. So, yes, that's for channel members tomorrow at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. Nick French with Photo V carving and negative space carving. Look at the posts/membership tab on my YouTube channel for the link to that members only live stream. If you don't know what we're talking about or you'd like to become a channel member, it's real easy to do. Right down below this video panel someplace, I think it's over on this side now, you'll see the word join. Click that word join. You're not joining anything yet, but a panel's going to pop up and a video's going to play. It's going to tell you all about channel membership. We have a fantastic group of people. I love these people to death. I love these people to death. No egos, not an ego among them. And every one of them is more than willing to share their knowledge and they're more than willing to share their experience. We'd love to have you as a part of that bunch. Um, are the members only live streams recorded for later viewing? Yes, Pete, they are. They're also in a playlist, members only playlist. Just go to, if you're a channel member, go to, you'll see home, videos, then live. Click on live. And all of my live streams will be listed there, but you'll also see all the members only live streams. Fair warning, there's 3 years of back catalog of these members only live streams. We started our fourth year in June. So there are 161 members only live streams in there right now. That's a lot of catching up to do. But yes, they're all on the YouTube channel for you to review. You have to be a current member in order to see them, though. So, like I said, fantastic group of people. You'll get early access to the videos when I post them, usually on Thursday, and our just members only live chat, another, and some of the best people I've ever met. And we'd love to have you join us. For the public side next week, I've stopped trying to promise videos because of my right hand. Today is, let me make sure I'm right here. Today is day 101 of my battle with shingles. It's an ongoing battle. We'll see what happens. You know, um, and I'm a little over 3 months into it. Had a follow up with the doctor on Wednesday. She said expect 6 months. I'm like, okay. So around late October, I'm looking at maybe some improvement on this. We'll see what happens. So if I end up doing another live Q&A, I'll do another live Q&A. If I have a video, I have a video. I was asked about the distort tool. I do have a video planned to do the distort tool, but the next video will probably be on mirroring selected objects. Then I'll get into the distort tool. So I'll say thank you very much for spending part of your Sunday with me. I hope you got some good shop time in this weekend. Hope you got some good. Hey, Pete, welcome back. Welcome back. It's good to have you back. Pete was a member before. He kind of dropped off. Happens all the time. Um, Welcome back. Glad to have you. And remember, internet law number one, Pixar, it didn't happen. So be like Pete. Join us. You'll enjoy it. You'll have fun. That's all I can think of going through the Rolodex in my mind, other than it's lunchtime. Thanks for spending part of your Sunday with us. Until next week, y'all take care.